I try to get off the grid when I am on vacation, but I can't seem to do it. With Amy Richardson of Richardson Professional Solutions, I'm Neil Gordon, and at least I feel good that I'm not in the minority in this case.
That's right. Recent studies have shown around 85% of small business owners admit to still working while on vacation, and around 60% of those are just trying to proactively check in.
Wow, that is incredible. I really admire people, though, who trust their people and really do get off the grid.
Right.
I mean, there's something admirable about that.
Absolutely. I try my best. I think there's a little problem with control in my case, though. You really want to make sure that you can set your team up for success and give yourself that grace to be able to step away.
Absolutely. Of course, we just had a little golf soiree in town earlier in April. Did you find that some companies closed down, or what was it? What was the temperature like in town?
From what I saw in our client group, everyone was kind of business as usual, just away from Washington Road as much as possible.
Okay. Were you busier than usual Masters Week while people are supposed to be on vacation?
It was pretty steady, but things kind of shifted around, right? Because we have some folks who did go on vacation, and so we helped hold down the fort while they were gone. And then we also had others that were working doubly hard while it was quiet, as they say, because a lot of their customers were out of town. So it was kind of a wash.
Yeah. And I'm understanding with this survey where you mentioned about 85% are still sort of plugged in. There's 4 top reasons why business owners felt compelled to really have to check in and have to be part of the process.
Right. Yeah. So gaining peace of mind that things are under control. So again, I think that's that control piece of feeling like you need to be plugged in. You still have a finger on the pulse, and there's going to be no surprises when you get back. And I can definitely relate to that one.
Right.
Keeping projects moving along. Absolutely. So again, that's going to come with trust in your team, making sure that you're setting them up for success when you're gone. Of course, emergencies happen. Your team may have something come up that's above their pay grade or outside of their specialty. Absolutely. But I think really doing a lot of proactive work on the front end before you leave, making sure they're really set up for success.
The third one is speaking to my wife, Melissa, when we go on vacation, avoiding coming back to extra work. So it's like you work double hard the week before to make sure everything's clean so that when you enjoy and then you come back and everything's the same as you left it.
Yes, and I think that's why we tend to just keep one eye open on our email while we're gone, because as you see those things come in, you're not only keeping an eye out for things that need to be triaged, but you're also kind of swiping those things away that aren't really relevant or they're spam. And so you're trying to keep your inbox in check, so to speak, while you're gone, so that again, when you get back, you can really hit the ground running and you've set yourself up for success. So it's a hard balance.
Oh yeah. And of course the big thing is to keep the culture, preventing colleagues from feeling under stress. And to that point, you've come up with some tips so that people really can unplug.
Right.
And what would be the first one?
So the first one we have is planning out specific projects versus general to-do lists. So this really speaks back to what we just talked about. So making sure that you're setting your team up for success is that mapping things out, because maybe you are the subject matter expert. Maybe you're not the boss, but maybe you're a team lead or a key team member, and you're the subject matter expert on whatever it is that you're working on. You still want to be able to set up the rest of your team for success. So if you are that subject matter expert, making sure that whatever it is in your brain that your team may need while you're gone, making sure that that information is accessible for them to be able to keep things going while you're gone.
Yeah. How about cheat sheets?
Oh yeah, good cheat sheets. So Peyton on my team likes to call this the "if I get hit by a bus" file. Not very pretty, but the idea is if something happens or you're out or you're sick, that things can keep going while you're gone. Now, of course, there may be speed bumps and hiccups trying to connect those dots with you being out, but those cheat sheets are really going to help your team for you to be able to step away for vacation.
And of course, by the way, Amy's website is richardsonprosolutions.com, richardsonprosolutions.com. You're in the business of, I guess, reducing costs for other companies in terms of labor. So that's kind of the third tip, is to get a company like yours involved.
Sure. Yeah. So the idea is that we'll take bookkeeping, for example. Maybe your team doesn't need a bookkeeper for 40 hours a week every single week. You might be very small or have minimal number of transactions. So maybe you only need help 10 hours a month. That's really where we come in, to try to be an extension of your team. But we are not employees. We provide our own equipment, our own certifications. We take care of that in-house, right? And we've talked about that in a previous podcast. So really being able to be an extension of your team and worry-free, right? So that's kind of the idea. And the same thing goes in place for vacation, right? Do you need to forward your phones to us for us to answer for that week while you're gone? Do we need to keep an eye on your email? Would you like us to work on a special project while you're gone? So maybe you've been thinking there's this one thing that you've really been wanting to do but haven't had time. Is this something that we could help you with while you're out, right? While things are slow. So
yeah, that's fantastic. And again, to learn about all the various types of services, it's Richardson Pro Solutions. You don't want to come back to a pile of work.
That's right.
And you want to be able to unplug this thing while you are supposed to actually be away from work.
That's right.
Just
your family will
get
thank
away.
you. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's got you covered. Thank you, Amy.
My pleasure. Thanks, Neil.